Now at 7 o'clock, an attempted police stop over a stolen car ends with 2 bystanders in the hospital. We'll have more on what happened to the person behind the wheel of the stolen vehicle. Plus,
3 more bullet shots. And then one of those bullets happened to hit my window.
A fight between 2 people turns into a shootout. Why one neighbor says he wasn't surprised. And later,
the governor heard people, farmers and consumers, and acted upon that.
yeah, some local farmers relieved, to say the least, after Governor Kotek puts a pause on some proposed rule changes to farm stands across the state. Why farmers say those changes could have put them out of business. Sunrise, streaming live here at 7 o'clock, starts right now.
good morning, and thank you for joining us on your Monday. I'm China Green.
And I'm Drew Carney. You know, we've entered the final days of July here. So Chris and Rod bringing you into the mix. Rod, I think we've got 4 days left this month. Right? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Yeah. Friday is August 1st.
You might be right, Drew.
Oh, come on.
Yeah. All right, here's a look at our Salem Skycam this morning. A beautiful day. There's no marine push, so it's clear up in Cowlitz County. It's clear at the beach this morning. Salem getting your day started with a temperature of 56 degrees. Winds are light to calm. Here's the Rose City camera looking up I-5, the Moda Center there, and our temperature of 58 with a light wind. A little bit warmer. The warm-up begins today with 73 Saturday, 80 yesterday. Today, 73 at noon. 85 your expected high. We could hit 90 tomorrow, and your 7-day forecast, of course, is coming up. Here's Chris.
Rod, thanks for that. I want to get you back into the West Hills here. This is Northwest Cornell Road near 53rd Drive, the scene of an early morning garage fire. TVFNR is still on the scene. They were putting out hotspots for quite a while. I don't have any details on the actual fire situation, but obviously you can see that with crews still there. They are just now, it appears that traffic, a few cars have been working their way through there, but just watch for speed. Again, you've got emergency crews still working that scene. Good news over on the west side. The earlier crash on the ramp from 405 south to I-5 north, that is finally cleared, and traffic is now zipping through there. There still is a little bit of a residual delay on the inbound Sunset. Well, of course, and this is the hour that things are really starting to build anyway, so tough to decipher between the two. But right now you're looking at about 20 minutes to get you from Hillsborough to I-405 and the Vista Ridge Tunnel. China?
Thank you, Chris. New details coming in right now. A man is missing in Vancouver after jumping into the Columbia River to save a child. The Vancouver Fire Department says the 54-year-old entered the water around 8:45 last night to help a child struggling to stay afloat. While he successfully saved that child, he went under and was not seen again. Rescue crews from both sides of the river responded, but they could not find him. Operations were suspended around 10:30. The incident is now being investigated by the Coast Guard and Vancouver Police.
Portland police arrested a man after he allegedly crashed a stolen car into 2 people near downtown.
Both pedestrians were taken to the hospital with significant injuries. KGW John Adams has a story.
Just after 1 p.m. Sunday afternoon, Portland police say officers attempted to stop a stolen vehicle near Northwest 9th and Burnside. The driver got away from officers who decided not to pursue. The driver then lost control of the vehicle and hit 2 pedestrians at the intersection of Northwest 6th and Gleason.
I saw the car skirting down over towards the gate and a cop following them pretty persistently. They crashed through the gate and into a crowd of people.
Jacoby Bush was on his way to work when he saw the crash.
And the cops took care of it pretty quickly. They all, like 3 of them, swarmed that area, got them on the ground and took care of the people that were also injured and the person that was in the car.
According to PPB, the pedestrians suffered serious injuries and were transported to an area hospital. Their condition is currently unknown. The driver of the vehicle was uninjured and was taken into custody after the crash. Those who live in the area were surprised something like this happened.
Definitely shocked with a wreck like that. Definitely downtown.
It was in the middle of the day. Like, it wasn't late at night. It was just literally that people were sitting by the Max. I mean, luckily the Max also stopped. People were on the Max. The Max almost got hit. Like, that could have been anybody.
PPB is asking anyone with information on the crash to contact the Traffic Investigations Unit. John Adams, KGW News.
Authorities are searching for a missing swimmer in the Clackamas River near Carver Park.
So we're still waiting for more information from the Clackamas County Sheriff's Office, but here's what we can tell you this morning. Clackamas Fire says a person reported that their friend had gone underwater while floating down the river and they didn't come back up. That missing swimmer was later recovered, but Clackamas Fire wouldn't confirm their condition. So again, we're still waiting for an update from the Clackamas County Sheriff's Office.
A shooting over the weekend in southeast Portland left one man injured and damaged several cars and homes.
Police believe it all started here with a fight between two people who eventually fired shots at each other. So far, though, police have not made any arrests. KGW's Celine Stevens brings us more.
They came in 3 rounds. So I heard in the first round about, say, 12 shots.
Those shots ringing out early Sunday morning. The bullets landing in this SUV and this truck along Southeast Brooklyn Street.
Not even 30 seconds later, I hear 6 more. And then maybe a minute later, there was 3 more bullet shots. And then one of those bullets happened to hit my window.
This adding to the recent list of shootings Portland's seen in July, including the July 1st shooting that killed a man outside the Multnomah County Central Library.
It seemed like an eternity that this man was bleeding out on the corner, and it was honestly a mass trauma event.
The shooting that left another man dead in a Safeway parking lot in northeast Portland.
Hearing there's just a dead body in the middle of the parking lot, that's shocking.
It's depressing, crime being the way it is, especially in this little neighborhood.
And the shooting in North Portland by McCoy Park last weekend that killed a 21-year-old man.
Pretty normal around here, so we hear about shootings about once a month.
Still, according to statistics from the Portland Police Bureau, from January to June of this year, there have been 301 shootings, while in that same time frame in 2024, there were 434. As for if shootings are common in this area,
not exactly common, but I wasn't surprised. Oh, great. More neighborhood shenanigans.
Celine Stevens, KGW News.
All right, let's talk about wildfire updates this morning. We start with this. The mayor of White Salmon says that the Birthright fire is now in a transition phase. The fire started 10 days ago. It's burned more than 11,000 acres on the Washington side of the gorge, but we also know at this point it's 54% contained. Fire officials reduced evacuation orders over the weekend, so level 3 go now orders are down to a level 2, and all level 1 orders have been canceled. The Clackamas County Health Department is offering a limited number of re-entry kits for people who live in that area. They include N95 masks, gloves, and other safety items. If you want to request one of those kits, we have a link in the most recent article covering the Birthright fire at KGW.com. Meanwhile, firefighters have gained full containment on the largest fire in Oregon this year, the Cram Fire. This fire has burned nearly 98,000 acres in central Oregon, but crews are starting to wind down operations there. Nearly all evacuation notices have been lifted. The only exception is a small area near the southeast part of the fire where people are still under a level 1 be ready notice.
Let's head over to Rod Hill. You have also been tracking the fire impact on your end.
I tell you what, we had a cooler weather pattern that really swept across the entire state over the weekend. And when I looked to get myself updated on the fire news last evening before I went to bed, boy, was I pleased with what I saw. China and Drew just telling you about the Birthright fire with the evacuations downgraded and over 50% containment. This is the large fire map for Oregon and Washington. If you count these little fire emblems, these are the large fires. There's only, I say only, because there's a low number for this time of the year. It really is. Only 11 fires right now named that are actively burning across our 2 states. And what really caught my eye, this big cluster has basically burned itself out or been put out, however you want to say it, down in southwestern Oregon. That was the biggest cluster of fire activity in our state that started with lightning the first part of July, but that's now down to just 2 individual fires, so that's terrific news. And with the fire news being so good in the gorge and the wind forecast the next couple of days calling for light winds, I'll tell you what, we'll see what August brings. Of course, fire season goes all the way into October. So we still have a long ways to go. And we have thunderstorms in eastern Oregon and central Oregon in the forecast this week, which means heightened alert for possible new fire starts. Here's a look at the clear skies, speaking of the Cascades, from the Mount Hood, Oregon resort up in Welch's. This is looking at their beautiful golf course, and it is just a clear sky morning. The bricks will start to warm up somewhat today. I do have 90-degree temperatures potentially starting tomorrow and Wednesday. We'll be in the mid-80s out there this afternoon. Right now, Portland reporting a temperature of 58 degrees, 54 out in Hillsboro. Everybody mainly clear with a light wind, 51 in Battleground. So we're only in the 7 o'clock hour. Temperatures just now starting to warm up a degree or two. It's 56 in Salem. Forecast map for today. Last night we had some thunderstorms in far eastern Oregon. That is expected to redevelop in scattered locations later this afternoon. There are some 90s, including Pendleton, the Dalles, and Madras, but no extreme temperatures. Just a beautiful sunny day at the coast. Portland goes 85 today, 90 tomorrow, 93 Wednesday. We may get some thunderstorms bouncing over the Cascades and coming into the Willamette Valley Wednesday night and Thursday. We'll keep you updated on that. Here's Chris.
Rod, thanks for that. Let's take it back to Northwest Cornell Road in the West Hills. Photojournalist Eric Patterson's been on the scene since earlier this morning. This is near 53rd Drive, the scene of an early morning garage fire. We've got some video of that from earlier, and you can see TVFNR was busy dealing with this. There were some flare-ups as well that kept them on the scene for quite a while. The update at this point is that Cornell Road appears to have reopened just east of 53rd Drive. We'll get you back to the traffic map. I can show you that as we show you Eric's shot, cars are starting to get through that area again. We're also getting word of another fire response, a possible commercial fire right now in Southwest on Southwest Hemlock near Hall Boulevard, just east of 217. We're working to get more details on this, and we'll bring them to you just as soon as we get them here on Sunrise. Your freeway drive is busy, but it's moving. There's I-5 up near Lombard. Right now, your drive times are still in pretty good shape early on our Monday morning drive. China?
Thank you, Chris. Still to come on Sunrise.
They've had doctors and dietitians tell them that they need to change their diet, but didn't know how to do that.
Yeah, treating chronic disease with food. Coming up, a look at a new trend that has some doctors prescribing their patients cooking classes. Sunrise streaming live at 7 continues after this.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news, live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news, live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
All right, imagine this, China Green. You go to the doctor.
Yep.
You get a chronic disease diagnosis.
Oh.
And I'm sorry, yeah, that's not, I'm sorry to hear about that.
Thank you.
And your prescription to deal with said disease is a cooking class. A cooking class.
Okay. I would be confused. But apparently it's a growing trend across the country and has healthcare providers trading in their stethoscopes for spatulas. Take a look.
A new kind of prescription is being written at Yale School of Medicine, but instead of pills or shots. These include skills like chopping and sautéing.
They've had doctors and dietitians tell them that they need to change their diet, but didn't know how to do that. And so immediately, I think the response from patients was excitement about getting into the kitchen.
Here, patients aren't just learning how to cook, they're learning how to take control of their health. Dr. Nate Wood is a primary care physician at Yale New Haven Health.
So good.
But he's also a professionally trained chef. who's worked in some of the most sought-after restaurants in New York.
Look at these knife skills.
He leads free culinary medicine classes for about 15 patients at a time, all with chronic health conditions like diabetes, obesity, or heart disease.
The first class, I learned how to cut properly.
Nikenji Hook was referred to the kitchen to help manage her obesity, pre-diabetes, and chronic pain.
I don't have any chronic issues anymore. I don't have as much pressure on my knees, and I'm more active now because I don't have the chronic pain.
You were saying for years you weren't really getting what you needed to, but all of a sudden things started to move. What is it about being here that did that?
Just having the support of the class and the instructors has helped me a lot. I actually enjoy cooking.
This may look like any regular doctor's office, but teaching kitchens just like this are popping up all across the country, including Boston Medical Center, the University of Utah, and MedStar Health in DC.
People talked about, kind of improving their diet and eating more in line with the Mediterranean diet, about getting their sugars under control, getting off their meds, losing weight, and it's been awesome.
During the 6-session course, patients learn basic kitchen skills, healthy recipes, and how to make food that's both nutritious and delicious. And it's all free. There's no insurance or copay required.
What does that mean for you as somebody who's for years wanted to combine food and medicine, to see this sort of become a nationwide movement? Yeah, it's been amazing. To see it over the past 10 years become something that's exploding over the country has been awesome.
And for Nikenji,
the prepping is fun, but this is definitely fun as well.
Freedom.
I can go out with friends. I can be around my younger nieces and nephews. So I've been able to have quality of life again.
Great story.
I think when we first we kind of alluded to this story about 30 minutes ago, and I saw your eyes go like, what the heck, Rod's eyes.
Yeah,
we said we're going to tell you how chronic diseases are being treated with food.
Yeah.
And there you go. There's your answer. It was a good story.
I would like to throw my doctor, Dr. Stasiak, I really like him, but I'm going to throw him under the bus because he told me if I would cut down on my hamburgers and fried chicken, I would be healthier.
Maybe you are.
I don't really know what his point was there, but
did you need a? Go ahead.
I can kind of speak to this. This is something that you know about me, but the audience probably doesn't, and I don't think you know.
Okay, all right.
So I had this disorder, I guess you call, where you're addicted to picking. So I would pick my face a lot. I mean, like, rip scabs open.
Oh, wow.
It's actually very
It's like
common.
a nervous habit,
Yes,
right?
some people pull out their hairs.
Yeah.
I started cooking, and it pretty much eliminated that because my hands were so busy. Like, the more complicated the recipe, the better, because then my hands would be busy for 3 hours. And that's 3 hours of me not picking my face, which sounds crazy, but that was the best 3 hours of my life because it was the first time in my life that I went that long, except for sleeping, without picking my face. So cooking mentally can do a lot. Health can do a lot. Like, it's a game changer.
You know, Rod can't necessarily relate because the man has no bad habits.
No bad habits. Healthy.
No, I picked too. Unfortunately, I picked the wrong teams when it comes to sports. That's my flaw.
Are we going back to the Chiefs?
Mr. Understanding Rod Hill with your forecast.
Here we go. What we got? We've got some rain exiting, moving over into Idaho. There's a new, well, this is new. This is not exiting, this is new. Some showers down around Burns. This cluster in Idaho had some lightning last night, early this morning. This same area expected to see scattered shower and thunderstorm development again later today. The National Weather Service has much of Oregon when you get east of the Cascades and down south, and their convective outlook, which is code for maybe some thunderstorm development. Our Futurecast models show storms today primarily redevelop across the eastern third of our state, not central Oregon. We'll see if that's correct. All right, Chinookways Casino Resort in Lincoln City. That's a baby blue sky. Looking at the blue waters, no marine push today. Everybody has sunshine and light winds. Lincoln City 48. Here's the Providence Park camera. You can see the stadium there with the sun coming in. 57 degrees in Portland on the west side this morning, and 58 out at PDX right now. Salem's 56. Again, everybody's mainly clear except where there are those showers down in parts of Harney County. 53 degrees, 62 out in the Dalles right now. Winds in the gorge will be light, by the way. You folks expect it to be dry and sunny. So our Futurecast models show scattered storms across the far east again today. The nose fizzle out. Here comes a bigger outbreak of storms tomorrow afternoon. These could get into central Oregon. Here comes another round of thunderstorms Friday. Why all the thunderstorms? There's a big upper level high that has shifted off to the east, but it starts migrating back into the heart of the Midwest in the next 24, 30 hours or so. And these storms in part are firing on the backside of that high. So that's why we're getting this boundary of storm activity, even down in Medford at 4 o'clock Wednesday. This is the first wave of storms. This is 10 o'clock Wednesday evening that shows potential to jump the Cascades and come into parts of the valley. That's why we have a scattered shower / thunderstorm chance Wednesday overnight and Thursday in our 7-day forecast. Here's the valley for today. We're warming back up after a really comfortable weekend. This shows 88 in McMinnville and Salem, sunny skies, mainly a light west-northwest breeze. 84 in Longview, 85 in Battleground and Vancouver, and I have Portland at 85 after reaching 80 yesterday. Back up to about 90 tomorrow would be day 11 if we make it of 90-degree temps, 93 on Wednesday. That chance of scattered activity in the Willamette Valley Wednesday overnight into Thursday. And if there's a second little boost of activity, which there could be, we could have a shower going into Friday morning. Now understand, this is probably a chance of this many of us get some rain in the Willamette Valley Wednesday night, Thursday. Not this many of us, but that many of us. So we'll keep an eye on that. Here's Chris.
Rod, thanks for that. I want to pick it up with that traffic alert on the west side in the Tigard area. Actually, you're getting a few more details now. We're hearing that there was some sort of a fire response, possible fire that spread from some shrubs outside of the Avamere at Park Place Senior Care Facility, just off of Southwest Hall Boulevard on Southwest Hemlock. Right now, we're hearing that Southwest Hall Boulevard is closed. Tigard Fire is on the scene. We're working to get more details, and as soon as we have them, we'll bring those to you right here on Sunrise. But for right now, just know that Southwest Hall Boulevard is closed near Southwest Hemlock, so maybe use Greenberg Road to get around that. On the freeways, this is I-5 in the Burlingame area, southbound. It looks like we've got a crash near the Terwilliger Boulevard exit ramp, so folks having to get over that southbound right lane partially blocked, and that's really our only freeway trouble spot right now. As we get to the drive times, we're still in relatively good shape from Monday morning drive. We'll be right back.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
President Trump and the European Union agreed to a new trade deal that sets tariffs at 15%. Meanwhile, the U.S. will resume tariff talks with China today. NBC's Alice Barr has the latest on these headlines and others from Washington, D.C.
After months of tense tariff threats, a highly anticipated deal between top trading partners, the United States, and the 27 nations of the European Union.
It's the biggest of all the deals. Thank you very much.
The agreement reached at President Trump's private club in Scotland sets 15% tariffs on most European goods entering the U.S. The European Commission president emphasizing stability.
It will bring predictability. That's very important for our businesses on both sides of the Atlantic.
She underscored the improvement from the 30% import tax President Trump had threatened, while acknowledging it's still a real cost.
15% is not to be underestimated, but it is the best we could get.
The rate does apply to European cars, but there are exceptions, including no tariffs on aircraft parts, certain generic drugs, and some agricultural products. As details are hammered out, no word yet on rates for in-demand European wines. President Trump says the EU will not impose tariffs on U.S. imports and will purchase $750 billion worth of American energy while investing an additional $600 billion into the U.S.
And they're agreeing to purchase a vast amount of military equipment.
It comes ahead of an August 1st deadline when countries that haven't reached a deal will see higher tariffs, forcing U.S. businesses that import materials from abroad to absorb more added costs.
It's a lot to shoulder for small business owners.
Or pass them along to consumers. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
All right, here's a look at some other national headlines with your morning rush. At least one person died and 10 others were hurt during an overnight mass shooting in Atlanta. This happened around 1:30 this morning. We know the man who died was 27 years old. Authorities have not confirmed if there were multiple shooters. The man accused of stabbing 11 people at a Walmart in Michigan on Saturday could face terrorism charges. Officials say 42-year-old Bradford Gilley has a history of assaults and controlled substance violations. One of the people stabbed has already been released from the hospital. All right, take a look at this. More than 170 passengers and 6 crew members, all on this American Airlines flight heading to Miami from Denver, had to evacuate on the runway during takeoff. The airline says the problem was caused by a fire in the braking system. Everyone managed to get off the plane safely. One person, though, was taken to the hospital with a minor injury. And that's a look at your morning rush.
I was scared. And so I signed it and I gave them the $10,000 check.
So this is a pretty crazy story. A woman's move from California to Washington turns into a nightmare. She says she gave her movers $10,000 and they refused to give her her stuff. We'll have all the details in the story coming up in our next half hour.
KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
We are coming up on 7:29 on your Monday morning drive. We pick it up on the west side. You're looking live right now at Southwest Hall Boulevard near Hemlock. You can see the Washington County Sheriff has it blocked off right now. TVFNR is responding to some sort of a commercial fire on Southwest Hemlock. This is near a senior care facility in Tigard. We're working to get more details on this right now, but the traffic impact is that Southwest Hall Boulevard is blocked at this point around that. I want to get back to the freeways real quick. I-5 southbound, we've got an injury crash near Terwilliger Boulevard. The southbound right lane is blocked and traffic is very quickly starting to stack up around that. Southbound I-5 now lining up back towards the Markham Bridge. Rod?
Well, Chris, thank you for that. We have a beautiful morning. Everybody has sun. There's no marine push this morning, so it's clear at the coast as well. There's our state capital down in Marion County. 56 is the current number. Portland looking up north I-5 by the Moda Center at 58 degrees. This will be a day that warms up over the very pleasant temps we have this weekend. 73 at noon, 85 expected at 5 o'clock, and our 7-day takes us to 90 and 93 on Wednesday.
7:30 half hour on the Sunrise Show as we start this half hour with a live look from the Oregon coast. Our Chinook Winds Casino Resort Skycam showing off the ocean on this Monday morning. China, anything special to say to our viewers along the coast here?
Yeah, good morning. And thank you for joining us on your Monday here. Happy to have you. Got a lot to get to. Going to get to traffic in a second. But first, get your weather.
I don't have the actual stats written down, but it has been a cloudy weekend. I mean, a cloudy July, I feel like, at the beach. They haven't had a ton of these clear sky mornings, so enjoy that. That was our Chinook Winds Casino Resort camera in Lincoln City. Here's the Chehalem Tasting Room camera inland looking out over the village. Oh boy, 55 is the temperature there. Here's downtown, not downtown, but looking up I-5 from a Rose City camera. We're in the 50s. This will be a day that warms up noticeably over the weekend that we had. 73 at noon, and I have Portland jumping up to about 85 degrees this afternoon. Winds are light. Winds will be light out in the Columbia River Gorge today as well. Your 7-day gets us back up to 90-degree heat starting tomorrow. We'll have that for you coming up, Chris.
Hey, Rod, thanks for that. I want to pick it up with that traffic alert on the west side. I'll step out of the way. Photojournalist Chad Dehart's on the scene at Southwest Hall Boulevard near Hemlock Street. TVFNR there with fire trucks and emergency personnel. We're hearing that there was some sort of a fire outside or near a senior care facility on Southwest Hemlock. I don't have any other details to provide to you at this point other than the traffic impact is that Southwest Hall Boulevard is blocked. Pretty significant response here. Not that that's out of the ordinary for this type of a fire, but again, we're working to get more details for you, and we'll bring those to you just as soon as we have them. Southwest Hall Boulevard, again, blocked at Hemlock. There is a local detour set up to get around that. Greenberg Road might be another good alternate. All right, let's get back to the freeway drive right now. I-5 southbound, a crash near Terwilliger still has the right lane blocked. And traffic is quickly stacking up around this. We'll go to door number 2, which is approaching Terwilliger. There's your southbound commute. And a little farther up to the north, this is just south of the Markham Bridge. Again, I-5 south, a real bit of a traffic jam starting to develop here. This is definitely an unusual slow spot for your Monday morning drive. Drew, China?
All right, thank you, Chris. One of our top local headlines here at 7:30, the Deschutes County Sheriff's Office is asking for help finding a missing man. This is a look at 84-year-old Leon Haight of Salem. He was last seen yesterday morning around 11 o'clock at Paulina Lake Campground. So his family says they think he may have wandered off on his own while they were away from the campsite. He's 5'10" with a full gray beard, although you see in this recent photo, it shows him clean shaven. Authorities believe that he may have driven somewhere in a silver 2008 Honda Civic with Oregon plates 988 DRD. So if you see him or you see that vehicle, you're asked to call the Deschutes County Sheriff's Office.
Investigators in Washington County are looking for more possible victims after they arrested a man in Aloha who's accused of kidnapping and committing several sex crimes. And a warning here, some of these details are difficult to hear. According to court documents on July 21st, 58-year-old Drew Hendricks right there allegedly sexually assaulted 2 people on the same night. One of them was a 20-year-old woman he didn't know who had been drinking at an event and got lost when Hendricks saw her. He allegedly invited her inside a home and refused to let her out. He then forced her to smoke meth before he sexually assaulted her while taking pictures of the abuse. Investigators also believe Hendricks sexually assaulted a man in his 80s inside the same home.
We are looking for additional victims to come forward. There are allegations of misconduct that span over 15 years.
Prosecutors claim Hendricks has a pattern of stalking, threats, and being sexually inappropriate with women. He remains at the Washington County Jail without bail. The search for Travis Decker, the man accused of killing his 3 young daughters near Leavenworth, Washington, is starting to slow down. The Chelan County Sheriff's Office says it's getting fewer leads and tips. At this point, it's unknown whether he's alive. There's still a $20,000 reward for information leading to his arrest. And with bear season opening next month, law enforcement in Washington are asking hunters to stay alert and report anything suspicious.
A federal appeals court ruled that President Trump's executive order aimed at ending birthright citizenship is unconstitutional. Last month, the Supreme Court ordered lower courts to take a second look at the order. Washington Attorney General Nick Brown led the legal challenge, and the state of Oregon joined the mix. Brown called this ruling a big win, noting that this is the first time that a federal appeals court has fully concluded that the president's order is unconstitutional. He expects the Department of Justice to appeal and believes that this case will eventually return to the Supreme Court. Meanwhile, locally, big changes are coming to the Portland Public School District. So starting this year, middle school kids in the district will be graded differently.
Thomas Schultz has more on how the move is revolutionizing report cards and homework.
Some things are constant for middle schoolers. There's math class, gym class, and report cards. Though soon, grading could change.
The grade book is going to look different.
Melissa Sabga is a math teacher at Robert Gray Middle School. This year, middle schoolers across Portland Public will be graded on a new system. Report cards won't be rated A through F. Homework won't be graded either.
I personally love it.
It's called standards-based grading, where grades are based on knowledge of material.
It gives very specific information to parents on where students are doing well and where maybe they need more work.
Here's how it works. Instead of a kid getting an 89 in English, grades are more specific. Maybe a student is highly proficient in reading, but lacking in writing.
And you can really see where the gaps are and where the learning is.
Micah Yai is a Lewis and Clark education professor. She wrote a book about this model.
It's very clear where students know things.
Other districts are using standard-based grading too. Beaverton uses the model because it assesses student progress and provides timely feedback.
There's much more fine grain, so you can see where you need to do your instruction.
Still, it's an idea national outlets like the New York Post blasted 2 years ago when PPS announced the change. Critics say it fails kids who need help. PPS declined our interview request. And while teachers say homework isn't graded, kids do take assessments to show what they've mastered.
It's much more equitable for all kids, really.
As a 6th grade teacher, I think it's better for students.
In Portland, Thomas Schultz, KGW News.
Portland Public Schools also plans to eventually use standards-based grading in elementary schools too, but it's still unclear exactly when that would happen.
Cute! There it is. More than 100 pets from the South. They are now here in the Pacific Northwest. Some of these animals may have survived the Texas floods. The Oregon Humane Society is working to get as many of these pets adopted as possible. PetSmart Charities is helping out. They provided a $50,000 grant to help transport these animals here from the South, where there's limited shelter space right now.
In the Northwest, we have very high adoption rates, so when we have crowded shelters in the South, but we have the space and the capacity to send them out really fast up here, we're always more than willing to help out and get them out as fast as possible so they don't have to live their whole lives in a crowded shelter and they're able to get the care and the needs that they have met.
So for more information on the animals from the South that are here at the Oregon Humane Society, or for future adoption event details, you can go to OregonHumane.org.
Headed over to Rod Hill. Wasn't that just the cutest little thing you've ever seen?
Yeah, that last little kitten crawling on the shoulder looks like Coco, who's Grandma Kim's cat that we have at home.
We love Coco.
Yeah. Speaking of animals, I didn't know I was going to have this wonderfully natural transition, but here it is. The Oregon Zoo camera up in the West Hills. It's going to be still a pretty comfortable day to be out playing or working this afternoon. We will be getting up into the 80s. It's 58 degrees up in the West Hills right now. And here are the other temperatures. Gresham's up to 60. Everybody else is still sitting in the 50s as we're coming, it's 7:38 in the morning now. 53 rather in Oregon City, 56 in Salem, and Albany is at 55. Jax is our KGW dog of the day. Very patriotic photo this morning. Use that email dogoftheday@kgw.com. Send us your dog's name and photo, and your dog will become our dog of the day. There's Jax this morning. The weather map for today. We saw thunderstorms last night in parts of eastern Oregon. We do expect to see that activity refiring during the day today into tonight. So we'll keep an eye on that. Looks like it stays dry in Central Oregon. It'll be warming up. This shows Sun River nice at 83, but Madras 90 degrees at 4 o'clock. And it is a beautiful sunny morning at the coast. No marine layer today, so nothing but sun here on the west side. 7-day forecast numbers warming up, 85 today, 90 tomorrow, 93 on Wednesday. Now we're watching at least the threat that a cluster of storms in Central Oregon late Wednesday moves over the Cascades and brings us scattered showers and maybe some thunderstorm activity in the Willamette Valley Wednesday overnight into Thursday, and potentially a second batch of showers that could produce a shower into Friday morning. Now, if this happens, some of us would get some rain, a lot of us probably wouldn't. And that is your update for now. Here's Chris.
Rod, thanks for that. We pick it up on the west side. Again, we are looking live at Southwest Hall Boulevard near Hemlock Street. The road right now remains closed at this point. The details are limited, but what we've heard is that some sort of a possible brush fire broke out near a senior care facility on Southwest Hemlock. TVFNR is on the scene, and right now the Washington County Sheriff's Office has Southwest Hall Boulevard blocked off at Hemlock. There is a local detour set up. You could also possibly use Greenberg Road to get around this. Again, we're working to find out more about this. If any residents were going to be displaced, we hope to find out more within the next 20-30 minutes or so. We will bring that to you right here on Sunrise. Back to your freeway drive here. I-5 southbound, we still have this crash scene near the Twilliger Boulevard exit ramp. Again, that's southbound I-5, and that has really started to stack up the southbound I-5 commute. There you can see that red line, which extends now all the way back onto the Markham Bridge. So guys, the best bet to get around this is probably Barber Boulevard for now. We'll keep you posted.
All right, thank you, Chris.
The governor heard people, farmers and consumers, and acted upon that.
Yeah, farmers relieved, to put it mildly, after Governor Kotek puts a pause on some proposed rule changes that took aim at farm stands around the state. Why farmers say the changes could have put them out of business. Sunrise, streaming live here at 7 o'clock, continues in a minute. But first, a quick reminder about the KGW School Supply Drive coming soon to a school district near you. In fact, it starts this Friday. It is not too late, though, to sign up and help us out this year. You can be an official School Supply Drive collection site by going over to kgw.com/school and signing up. Whether you own a business, maybe you're part of a local school group, we take all comers to help us collect supplies this year. You can help us send thousands of kids and their teachers back to school with all the supplies they need.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
Small farms in Oregon like Topaz Farm on Sauvie Island are relieved after Governor Kotek paused some proposed rule changes that they say could have put them out of business.
KGW's Celine Stevens spoke with a few local farmers over the weekend. They give credit to their customers for coming to their rescue.
They spoke up and they spoke loudly.
Farmers breathing a sigh of relief after Governor Tina Kotek announced Friday that she directed the Department of Land Conservation and Development, also known as the DLCD, to pause farm stand rulemaking and reassess the next steps.
Oh my gosh, there were so many tears yesterday. I mean, the very first thing we did when we heard is we got all the staff together, and I don't know who cried more.
There were a lot of tears.
There were a lot of tears.
A lot of tears, a lot of hugs.
It's wonderful. Actually, it's politics at its finest, truthfully. The governor heard people, farmers and consumers, and acted upon that.
You can see we have raspberries, marionberries, chesters.
Kat Topaz and Jim Abels with Topaz Farm says those rules would have made keeping their doors open a lot harder.
It would have put us out of business 100%. Our farm is too small to survive and compete against the big guys. The only way we can survive is as a small farm and to be able to sell our products directly to the public.
Some of those changes under the proposal included things like any non-farm products sold at permitted farm stands would have to relate to the products grown on the farm, and events like weddings or concerts would need to be permitted and complete a thorough review of the impact on neighbors.
So DLCD created these rules that they said were clarifications, but they added complexity, and there were going to be new permits and 7-year reviews.
Right.
While 7-year reviews were a consideration, the state did acknowledge they did not plan to move forward with that idea. For bigger farms like the original pumpkin patch, it still would have been a hindrance.
It sure can be. I mean, we need to be able to plan for the future.
Farmers from all over took to social media against the proposed draft rules, and they say the community's support is what helped make this pause happen.
I think moving forward, anything that needs to be done, there should be farmers at the table. I think farmers should be included.
Celine Stevens, KGW News.
In a statement, Governor Kotek discussed supporting local farm business and preserving Oregon's historic land by use system. And she said in part, we need to acknowledge that some of our small and mid-sized farms need to maintain or consider different business models to continue to deliver the agricultural products and working farms we all value in Oregon. Toxic algae blooms and crumbling shoreline have volunteers racing to restore Portland's Ross Island to its former state. Yesterday, kayakers, paddleboarders, swimmers, and boaters participated in the first ever Ross Island Blackberry Harvest and Action Day. Supporters paddled over to the island to pick up berries and shine a light on the island's need for a complete restoration. They're urging lawmakers to solve the toxic algae problem, increase water monitoring, and begin debris removal.
I don't like when the word toxic becomes involved with my berries. Right?
That's a good point.
Like,
Yes.
those words are
Good
too
point.
close together in
like
that
that.
storytelling.
Yeah.
But yeah, the point is made. So, Rod, let's talk about the week ahead. Final week of July.
Yeah.
August 1st is Friday.
And then to piggyback on that last story, you get around August 1st, and that's often when the blackberries start to ripen up. That's happening in our yard. Not a native species, if you don't know.
Oh, really?
Considered, I think I'm correct when I say they're considered an invasive species, actually. I think I'm correct.
Here's my next question.
But they taste very good.
Isn't the Marionberry like a version of the blackberry? And wouldn't the Marionberry be a very native berry because it was founded in Marion County?
Ow. You're hurting my head.
That certainly makes sense, Mr. Carney. Here's a look at our satellite radar. There they go. This was a lightning producer earlier this morning. That's now into Idaho. There's a trailing shower down around Burns in this same area, kind of the eastern third of our state, if you will, under the gun for scattered thunderstorm development again later today into this evening. The dark gray, see it right back here? Way offshore. That's the marine low cloud deck, meaning there's no marine push inland. The beach is wonderfully clear and also wonderfully clear inland up in Cowlitz County. This is always a fun camera. We're looking at the thermal natural heated pool water from Canita Hot Springs Resort. This is over in Warm Springs. Sunny skies. There's no storm chance if you have plans to be in Central Oregon today, but there is a storm chance starting tomorrow afternoon, including Sun River, including Bend, and maybe including up into parts of Jefferson County as well. Here's the Shalem Tasting Room out in Sherwood. This is gorgeous, 57 degrees. Obviously not perfectly clear, but pretty close. Beautiful sunny day underway. 52 up in Kelso, sunshine up in Seattle this morning as well. They're at 56. Mentioned Bend is going to be sunny and dry today. 63 is the current number there. Here's Futurecast. So one of the things we're watching as forecasters is at least somewhere east of the Cascades every afternoon today through Friday, we're expecting thunderstorm development. Here's the way it looks this afternoon at 3 o'clock. You see the bright kind of scattered green, yellow, red colors. Here's a more robust outbreak of thunderstorm activity coming up from the south tomorrow at 4 o'clock. And this one will potentially bring some rain into the Sun River Bend area. And then here's a cluster of storms Wednesday afternoon at 4. And then look at Wednesday night at 10. See how these storms are kind of turning toward the Cascades? Modeling says that some of this rain jumps the Cascades and ends up in the Willamette Valley, which could be some thunderstorms or just rain showers. Wednesday overnight into Thursday morning with this surge of cloudiness coming in as well. So we'll keep an eye on that. And I think there could be an additional surge that would bring us a chance of some scattered rain in the valley Thursday overnight and Friday morning. Now again, it's tough to pinpoint. We're depending on stuff to get over the Cascades, weaken and break apart, but bring some areas of rain to the valley. Who gets it, how much, who doesn't, impossible to say. But the chance is there right now. For the coast today, all sunshine and right about 70 at Astoria and Pacific City. Upper 80s in Corvallis, Salem, and McMinnville. So we get back to some warming temperatures this afternoon after that pleasant weekend. Longview 84, Vancouver and Portland 85. 90, 93 the next 2 days. That storm chance on Thursday. Depending on how much cloudiness we get, I may be lowering this high of 84. I do believe there's at least a shower threat with cloudiness Friday morning. And then the upcoming weekend right now looks to be very, very pleasant indeed. Here's Chris.
Rod, thanks for that. We pick it up in Tigard with that traffic alert. Again, Southwest Hall Boulevard remains closed near Southwest Hemlock. We're working to get more details from TVFNR. Photojournalist Chad Dehart's on the scene, confirms with us that the road is blocked. We're hearing that a fire may have started on the exterior of a senior care facility off of Southwest Hemlock. So again, we're working to get more details on that. But for now, the traffic impact is that Southwest Hall Boulevard remains closed. Back to your drive, photojournalist Eric Patterson now making the commute on Barber Boulevard. This might be a reasonable traffic solution southbound to get around the delays that we have on southbound I-5. We've got a crash still active, at least with the ODOT incident responder there. The southbound right lane is blocked at the Twilliger Boulevard exit ramp, and traffic is really backed up around this. Again, this is one of those unusual slow spots. You just don't expect this on a Monday morning. I-5 southbound is pretty solid from the Markham Bridge down to Twilliger. Eric tells us he just drove through the scene. It took him an extra 10 minutes to make that southbound commute. So plan ahead, guys.
All right, Chris. Thank you for that.
Ideally, you get all your stuff back.
I won't.
You won't?
No.
This 84-year-old woman basically says she is forced to start over after she says the company she hired to move her from California to Washington charged her more than 4 times what they agreed to. Her story in 2 minutes right here on Sunrise.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yeah.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW+.
Welcome back to Sunrise. An 83-year-old woman in Washington says she's basically starting all over after her move from California to Washington turned into a nightmare.
She claims a moving company is trying to charge her more than 4 times the initial quote. Christian Belder with our sister station Seattle has more.
Nearly everything in Beth Robinson's apartment is donated.
The people here have been unbelievable.
Including the clothes.
This jacket
on her back
belonged to someone.
How many clothes do you got with you? Do you still have?
Two outfits.
Only 2?
Uh-huh.
How are you making do with only 2 outfits?
I do a lot of washing.
Beth moved from Palm Desert, California to a senior living community in Bothell, Washington to be closer to her daughter. Her stuff was supposed to follow with the help of Noble Moving and Storage. She says now that's a lost cause.
If ideally you get all your stuff back.
I won't.
You won't?
No. I've already told them that I will not go above $10,000.
An invoice shows Beth was first quoted $3,700. She says that later changed to a verbal quote of about $6,000 for an additional 25 boxes and some small furniture. But after the movers loaded everything onto the truck, she was slapped with this bill for over $26,000, and the driver demanded a tip of $1,200 in cash. The mover threatened to empty her belongings on the street if she didn't agree to it.
At 7 o'clock at night, 83 years old, 5 feet tall, I was scared. And so I signed it, and I gave them the $10,000 check.
King 5 contacted Noble Moving and Storage but has yet to receive a response. The Better Business Bureau does not accredit the company, which has received 25 complaints over the past year.
I think that they're unethical, and I don't know how they sleep at night.
But as for Beth, she says she's sleeping fine.
This is just something that happened, and there's nothing I can do about it. Why ruin a moment of my life stressing about it?
Again, that was Christian Balderas reporting for us this morning. By the way, the woman also told Christian that the company told her that they're going to auction off her belongings. And she also says that her bank did refund all the money that she paid those movers.
Coming up at 8, KGW Sunrise continues live on KGW Plus with the latest on the search for a missing man who jumped into the Columbia River to save a child. Also, we're covering a shooting in southeast Portland over the weekend that left one man injured and also damaged several cars and homes. Those stories and all of our local headlines coming up here at 8 o'clock.